The model that we have with the one-on-one mentor and learner permits us tremendous flexibility in meeting the needs of individual learners wherever they are, cultural needs, psychological needs, learning needs, time needs. We don't hold formal classrooms. What we require is that the learner be available to interact with the mentor. And in doing so, it could be synchronous, it could be asynchronous, it could be at the convenience of the individual learning style. After all, you send an email which can contain your lessons, your assignments, your project, with attachments now that can go into 50, 100 pages if you wish, and that can arrive instantaneously. If you have 50 students in the classroom, you may not see your work back for weeks at a time. Here we make it a point that a dialogue means interaction. The important thing about this one-on-one mentoring, it's not only the dynamics and finding out what the relative need and experiences are, we also don't grade on a curve. In a traditional school, you have, let's say, 30 students, and the traditional way of doing it is assuming that you have a normal curve here, normal distribution. So some people will get A's, some people get F's, some people get B's, some people C's, but most of them will go around the so-called middle, which is a B or C grade. And that's the traditional way of handling the disparity between learners who come in with different motivations and different abilities. You know that, so that you teach to the middle, which means that the brightest student is left out and the poorest student can't follow. So no wonder you have 2 out of 3 dropping, because they're frustrated with that particular system. In our case, if the learner submits work that is A or B, it's acceptable. If they submit work that's C or D that's less than acceptable, we enforce the notion it isn't satisfactory. And I use an analogy. I say, would you want to fly in a plane that was designed by somebody who got a couple of D's? And the answer is no. I wouldn't trust that, my life, my experiences, to that type of person. So why should we accept that in a school, in a learning environment, less than this satisfactory? So this feedback has a positive consequence. The positive consequence is to improve and make it better. So if you think of a feedback loop like this, then you see the validity and the value of what we're doing, how we accomplish this. Another thing that differentiates CalSouthern from other traditional schools is that we want this to be an applied baccalaureate, master's, and doctoral degree. By applied, we mean we want the learner to be able to take what he's learning and the degree and use it to further his career, her career, or to go into a new career, a new phase, an offshoot of what they have spent their lifetime doing. Most of our learners are 30, 40, 50-year-old, even 60, and some occasionally 70-year-old people. And they're interested in the practicality of what they're learning. And therefore, what we've done is make the courses very much applied. Even our degree titles, for instance, in our doctorates, we do not have PhDs. The PhD, Doctor of Philosophy, implies by its very name and the way it is taught in traditional schools to be a research, scholarly publication, and teaching credential, so that people graduating with PhDs in any field expect to become professors, to teach, to do research, to do publications. That's great. We need those types of people, but the opportunities are limited. There are only a certain number of universities hiring these sorts of people. So that you will find that many times a PhD is unemployable because they have theoretical skills and approach to the world, whereas the world wants practical, applied approach. Therefore, we focus on the applied doctorates. The JD, Juris Doctor, isn't applied. We expect the attorney to be able to represent us, to do documents, to come into court, to negotiate. These are all applied skills that are part of the Juris Doctor program. Think in terms now of a psychology doctorate. We offer a PsyD, psychology doctorate, equivalent to a PhD, but with a different emphasis. And that emphasis is on clinical, practical, applied. Because these people want to go out and do counseling, do therapy, provide support groups, therapists, etc. Take it one step further, we offer the Doctor of Business Administration, which is an applied degree. When people come to do their dissertation with us or project, we ask them to determine how the education that they're getting here is relevant to what they are doing. We are able to hold meetings, conferences, course scheduling, any place in the world, because we're all hooked up by internet. So we now can have an individual communicate with us online from any place in the world. That's made us, the world, very, very tiny, and it's made us very, very big in what we're able to do.